Okay, we're recording now. This is Lewis Katz, and we are going to look at something called flow charting here. And what we're going to flow chart is we're going to flow chart our day, at least part of it anyways. And so the first thing that happens in the day is we get up in the morning. And we're going to make some assumptions here. We're going to make an assumption that you eat breakfast, that you eat dinner, you don't eat anything else, and that you're a smoker because it adds a little complexity to it. So the first thing that happens is you get up in the morning. So I've got that in a little box here. It says get up in the morning. And coming out of the box, we have a little thing here, and it comes to a question. And it asks you, we'll shrink it down a little bit, is your bladder full? Well, if your bladder is full, then yes, you have to go to the bathroom. So there we have it, going to the bathroom. But if it's not full, then we have you going down no. And what's next on the list is smoke a cigarette. So if you go to the bathroom, when you get done, you smoke a cigarette. If not, you just smoked a cigarette. Great. When you're done smoking your cigarette, you have to ask a question. Is it a weekday or not? Because if it's the weekend, you don't have to go to work. If it's a weekday, well, you got to start doing some other things. But if it's a weekend, you can stay home, do your homework, lax, chill, do your laundry, and sleep. Going this way. But if it's not the weekend, we got another question to ask. And that other question is, do you have an early appointment? Well, if you have an early appointment, no, you don't have an early appointment, or no, you have an appointment. No early appointment. If you have no early appointment, you can go down here and you can check your bladder again. Is your bladder full? If yes, you go to the bathroom. If yes, you have an early appointment, then you go down this side. So we got a double negative there. It simplifies some things later on. So if you don't have an early appointment, no early appointment. Yes, I have no early appointment. You can check your bladder again. And then you can brew coffee and make breakfast. Right? And then when you get done with that, boy, if you haven't gone yet, it's probably time. So you can hit it up again. So you get done brewing coffee and making breakfast, you check your bladder again, you eat your breakfast, right? When you get done with your breakfast, you go to work. Okay, great. If you had an early appointment, you better hurry up and just go to work, which is what this does. It skips all of this in here, and it just goes down there. So all of this is one big decision. If there's no early appointment, you do all this. If there is an early appointment, then you go down here and you go to work. Great. And you work. And we'll need to shrink it a little bit. Okay, there. Now we can see the whole thing. Work, go home, eat dinner, and sleep. When you get all done, you go all the way back up to the beginning here, and you get up in the morning, and you start all over again. If you had an early appointment, you skip all that, you go to work, you go home, you eat dinner, and sleep, right? If it's not a weekday, if it's a weekend, you do your homework, you relax, you chill, you do your laundry, you sleep, etc. Then you go and you eat dinner, sleep, and you get back up in the morning. Come through all of this. If it's still the weekend, well, then you can do this again. But if it's a weekday, you better go to this. If it's Friday, you go like this, you come back up. When you come down here, it's Saturday, you end up going this way. So this keeps going around in a loop, and you can run your whole life that way, so long as there's no holidays. Nice and simple. So that whole process, figuring out what you're going to do and what your machine has to do, what you have to do, that's called flow charting. And it really isn't that hard if you think about it long enough. And so we can think about this being in little tiny steps. I've got some boxes driven here. This is the bathroom check step. Yeah? If your bladder's full, you go to the bathroom. If not, you smoke a cig, you do whatever you're going to do. And if it is, you go to the bathroom, you get done, you go back and do what you were going to do anyways. This is no early appointment box. And inside the no early appointment box, we've got a couple of bathroom checks and some other things. This is the weekday box. Everything that happens on a weekday happens inside this box. So in a program, decisions are made by comparing things, but most of the time, for what we do, we make decisions based on an if statement. Usually it's a sensor that makes the decision. Is your bladder full? Well, when your bladder's full to a 5, your sensor says, oh, 5, we have to make a decision. So on the Arduino, everything that your program is going to do essentially ends up in this loop function. At least everything that is going to do more than once ends up in the loop function. So inside this loop, I have this open bracket, which really is start my box, my big box for this loop function. Things that are going to happen over and over and over again, this loop that I'm going to go through, just like this goes through every time. It's a big loop. And the first thing is get up in the morning. And then, if my bladder is full, then I need another box. And the box happens between these two brackets. So if it's full, then I go to the bathroom. If it's not full, I skip this and I just go and smoke a cigarette. But if it is full, I go to the bathroom first and then I smoke a cigarette. The next big box is if it's a weekday. If it's a weekday, then I do what's in between the brackets here. Next set of big brackets. So if it's a weekday, if there's no early appointment, then I do what's between these two brackets. If I got time, if bladder's full, I go to the bathroom again between these two brackets. I brew coffee, check my bladder again, eat breakfast. Then I'm done with the no early appointment box. If there isn't an early appointment box, I just skip all of the stuff between these two brackets. Then I go to work. I work. I go home. Then I get done with the weekday bracket. So if it's a weekday or if it's not, when I get done, I eat dinner and sleep. Okay, so we've missed the homework, lax, chill, laundry, and sleep. And we'll fix that in our next iteration with an else statement.